Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pulse Check podcast. I'm telling y'all, we have a very special one today. Today, our guests for the day are, as always, you already know, my boy JGOD, my boy Isaac, and my boy BBreadman. Listen, boys, Isaac, what's going on, man? Talk to me.
Oh, it's going to be a spicy one. It's going to be a spicy one for sure.
Brad, what you thinking, baby?
We got a lot to talk about today.
JGOD, I already know you're ready to cook.
Oh, I know. There's a lot going on, so we'll have a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's go over first and foremost the elephant in the room, right? The thing that I think is the most important topic to discuss right off rip. And we had an update today, a very random update that I was completely thrown from left field. Let me go ahead and throw this out right now. That the update. First of all, did you guys know there was even going to be an update today on a Thursday or on a Friday?
Nope.
On a Friday? All right. So update.
No, other than playlists, sometimes they'll do for the weekend.
Yeah.
Not in a while, but you know what I mean. That's the only time you ever expect that.
Yeah. So just a random update, right? Nobody expected, and then I think have all had discussions with the devs before, and you know what they've been saying is I feel like completely different than what this update entailed. So you know what? Let me bring it up. Let me bring up the update and let's go over it real quick. All right. So stability made stability a little bit better. You know, no one really cares about that. But this next thing, these are the two biggest things of my concern, and no clue why this is a thing. But pretty much, I'm gonna summarize in the gameplay side of things. The score, Ashika Island, pretty much. They increase the time that it takes to bring back your teammates. So in essence, they slow down Rebirth Island, and then so now lobbies don't stay alive as long as normal. So pretty much end game, there's not gonna be like 10, 15 players, 20 players. There's probably gonna be like maybe.
I've heard they're getting torched.
Yeah, that the lobbies
People
are
that have
getting
played today, or said they're getting torched.
So that's what they said on this, is that lobbies are down bad. And then also right here, they said fixed. Okay, so let's dissect this, right? Fixed an issue with tuning that allowed sprint to fire speeds to be increased beyond intended levels, right? And then on top of that, this fix also considerably decreases the negative impact of tuning from sprint to fire. All right. Let me just be the one to say this really quick. Why, boys? Okay, first of all, you know what? Before we even do this, just in a summary, they nerfed the speed of the game. They nerfed sprint to fire speeds. They gave it a little buff for like.
Well, fixed.
But when every single person, I'm talking like they literally told me that everybody has been talking about movement. Every person that's given them feedback has been on movement. They know this. And for some reason, they decided to make sprint to fire speed slower. Yes, if you tune the opposite way, it makes them better. But that's not really the point here. Like they should be going far into the spectrum, making sprint to fire incredibly fast. And then for some reason, made Rebirth a lot slower pace now, which is going against what the game mode is supposed to be for. JGOD, talk to me initially. What are your thoughts on this?
So I would say that for the sprint to fire thing, it wouldn't be bad if it had an extra line there that said, we're going to fix this, but with season 3, we're going to make adjustments to this anyways, so that it would be faster, but then with the tuning, it would be too fast. You know what I mean? So they're being preemptive at one end, but then they'd give us the other part, but it didn't come with that. So it just caused you to think that, okay, what the hell? Versus if that was happening, it should have stayed there. And then they would have been like, everyone would have been kind of gassed, like, ooh, they're going to fix that. They kind of slipped in a bad with the good, but at least like it makes sense because the net positive will be good with the next season. The other part is that seems like with the Resurgence, it's like one of the worst ways I think they could have done it. They could have made the map like the first zone shorter, and then respawns would have died out quicker. Because like, and then maybe made zone 3 longer or something along those lines, so that they could have gone that route. But I don't know. I think that the timing thing, that just is weird.
Really bad timing. Yeah. Isaac, talk to me.
Sorry, say again?
Talk to me.
No, I was, yeah. So I think the perception thing is a big thing, right? Like, I even replied to your tweet, like, I was excited about season 3 until now, right? Because all we've been hearing is like the developers are finally listening to us. That's what we talked about in the last podcast, is like there's been a tonal shift in what they're saying.
Yeah.
And so I'm really hoping it's like what Jay said, and I didn't really think about it, right? But like, maybe it's planning for that future, but they have to think about, I don't want to say they're tone deaf, which I had seen a couple of people saying that, but like, you have to read the room. And if you give, really the only major 2 updates from the update are, we're going to bring less players in the game, so less engagements, and we're going to slow down your gameplay. Like, brother, are you... It almost feels like intentional sabotage at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, who was the update for, though?
Yeah,
like,
Brad, I want to get your opinion.
Yeah, like, I don't even play Resurgence, I'm not going to lie. But, like, I don't know who the update is for. Like, I mean, I could go ask one of my IRLs that plays, like, once every month. Ask them, would they rather have the games last longer, make it easier for your team to stay alive when you're getting fought by someone? Like, who is this for? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's for like internal metrics, whoever they're trying to satisfy. It's not any of the player base, it seems, with the change with Resurgence. It just doesn't really make any sense to me, to be honest.
I agree, boys. So like, listen, my thoughts, I woke up in a great mood. I'm not gonna lie. I sat outside. I let out my dogs. I'm not kidding. I was sitting down and I checked Twitter, and I was mind blown. So look, let me bring up the tweet, boys. Let me bring up the tweet.
Lucky replied to them too.
Yeah, Lucky replied to them too. We'll get to that. My immediate thoughts, boys. First of all, we ratioed them. Yeah, W in the chat. We ratioed them. But this was my response to this this update. I said, guys, and I'm at the point where I'm not even mad. I was just like, I was sad. I said, guys, from the bottom of my heart, please stop slowing down the game. You've been given an abundance, because chat, everybody in here, everybody has been saying movement is slow. Not even from just us, casuals as well. An abundance of feedback saying how slow this game is and how every mechanic should be sped up. Yet this update comes out of left field, slowing sprint to fire and Resurgence. Why? Like, so my initial thoughts is like, first of all, what happened to the communication that we had, let's say 2 weeks ago, where they were saying, you know what, like, we're about to make things faster. We're about to make things more fluid. Like, trust me. And then an update comes out where they nerf sprint to fire.
A random update.
A random update, which, maybe, was it so necessary that it was a hot fix? Because technically every update's come out, what, Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, can we hotfix that basilisk, or like what? Why is this what we hotfix?
Yeah, bro. And then,
do you want to show Lucky's tweet?
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. So now Lucky tweeted out. She said, "Wait, so it's gonna take longer to get your teammates up, or am I bugging?" Right? That's what he said. And so Raven Software replied, "Yes, we observed an average number of remaining squads in the late game that was higher than our intended amount. To balance things out, we made some small but impactful adjustments to allow squads a slightly larger window of time to eliminate one another." So Lucky replied and said, "Okay, from my experience and what I know, everyone loves a healthy lobby. Healthy lobby equals more kills." He's spitting right now. "Also, as soon as Resurgence closes, if there are 7+ teams still up, my heart races and it's more fun to see who closes the game out." I agree 1000% with what he's saying. Then Beanox replied, "Appreciate the feedback and we hear you. We're monitoring the impact of these changes, having the game carefully." I don't know what y'all think, but like, I just don't see the reasoning for it. I don't know who they're trying, like you said, who is this update for, right? What was the purpose of this? And I'm glad, you know what, I will say this, let me throw it out there. I'm glad that they're at least replying to us and letting us know, like having some form of communication. But I'm still like, damn, like, what was the point? Like, why is that a thing, So
well, what's weird, it kind of gives them a little bit of like thoughts on their insight, which is weird. Like, who created that arbitrary, zone 4, we have to have 4 teams left, not 7.
Right.
A horrible experience. Like, what? Like, who determined that number?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
whatever
If anything,
that number
like,
is.
And we talked about this in the past, where it just feels like they're taking away, like, Call of Duty, what we grew our entire life playing. Like, we love the gunplay, we love the engagement, and it's like they're trying to force us away from engagements and force us away from like regaining and buy our teammates back. And like everything's been slowed down. But if you think about this from a player retention perspective, let's say there's more teams in the in circle. Obviously, everyone's enjoying that. Everyone's getting that rush, right?
Yeah,
More engagements, like Lucky said, whether you're, you know, a top fragger trying to slay the lobby, or you're, you know, a lesser skilled player that's just trying to make it, you have a better chance to make it to that end game. And then that's going to make you go like, dang it, dude, like we got third place, or, oh, that end zone was crazy, let's do it again. As opposed to, there's one squad left. Where are they at? Any UAVs? No, we bought the one UAV on the buy. Like, okay.
Yeah. Brad, I mean, you don't play it, right, Brad? Yeah.
Nah, but like, isn't the whole purpose of Resurgence like the point? Like, you die, you could just come back. It's kind of like multiplayer-esque until the Resurgence closes, right? And so that's COD. Like, that is COD. Making that like slower just doesn't make that much sense. Where these like even lesser skilled teams, you know, maybe they'll die out earlier because you know they're getting fried by whoever, or like the people fragging. Like, again, I don't see, no matter how good you are or how much you play, I don't see this benefiting anyone, to be honest, that plays Resurgence.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things, man, as far as like improvements that need to be made, right? It's been, you know, it's been, how long has it been, guys, since there was a big update? What, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks? When was the midseason? 3 weeks, somewhere around there. I don't really know, but we haven't really had anything. And
was there anything even consequential in that besides like picking up plates automatically?
I'm be honest, no. Like, it's just literally been like the biggest change has been season two, like
sprinting while plating.
Yeah, sprinting while plating, which obviously was a big W. But like
W. Don't get me wrong, but we're 5 months deep.
Yeah, you gotta improve something ASAP. So I'm gonna be honest, man. Going through that, I don't know what's their thought process. I would like to see the thought process and just, you know, have some communication. But I think we can all agree that we've all talked to the devs and they've told us that they're gonna make things faster. And then out of left field, this comes out. It makes me question, you know, season 3.5 and beyond, and what the state of the game. I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I say that this tweet had the most negative, like, I'm not even going to show it just in case, you know, but this, go to that tweet and see the replies, even to my comment, to everybody. Like, it is insane, the replies to this, and how like down bad people are shitting on this game right now. Like, for some people, I'll be honest, this update was a last straw for some people. At least that's what people are saying, right? You never know. But I don't know, man. I mean, JGOD, what do you think we have in store for season 3, man? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Like, even if we go back to our first podcast, I think I said season 4 is kind of where I expect things to like smooth out, but that's just like way too long for some people. Like you're saying, people do the last straw, and a lot of people make this argument saying, oh, well, you've been saying it's last straw. No. The people have been saying it's last straw, they already left. And then the next people are saying it's their last straw, and then they're leaving. And it's gradually people have left over time. So it is the last straw for people continually until they fix it. And what things are like weird to me is like the thing I tweeted out earlier, which is the heartbeat sensor. Apparently, even when we had early access and we played early, we played multiplayer, and I had footage of the heartbeat sensor and stuff like that, and I tweeted that out. That was like in August or whatever the hell that was. And the heartbeat, I was like, it's cool. The range sucks on it, but it has a little battery. Apparently, that was a bug this entire time and got fixed March 2nd. So now you get 50 meters on the heartbeat sensor. But that was a bug. They replied to Modern Warzone. You can find the tweet.
Wow.
Raven
it was a feature.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I thought it was a feature too. Apparently it was a bug. And that's over like 130 days or something crazy. Like,
that's
to leave a bug in the game.
Bug.
I found it. I found it. Okay, this is what they said. So Doug said, did you know that there's a heartbeat sensor was recently stealth buffed back to the range it had on Warzone 1? Why, you ask? No clue. Thanks for swinging by chat and letting me know about this, JGOD, right? He tagged you. And then Raven said, hey, this was a change that resulted from a bug fix that went out on March 2nd. Fix an issue where the heartbeat sensor was tracking incorrectly, almost never showing players on the radar. So you're saying it's back to Warzone 1?
Yeah, it's 50 meters.
Okay.
The Pullze is still slow.
Yeah.
And it still has a battery. But people could just drop that and pick it up by the next person, I think. And you just drop it and pick it back up, and it restocks it to 100. So the battery part's a non-issue.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know that.
I'm pretty sure that's how that part works. And if you have restock, it just keeps recharging itself.
Yeah. Damn. That's actually RB meta again? Shit.
I don't know. That's crazy though.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, Isaac, what are you thinking for season 3, bro? We have a week and a half left. A week and a half left. Based off these changes that we saw today, are you scared for season 3, or do you think it's just like it's just a little bandit and then they're gonna shock us all with something crazy season 3?
I don't know, because in the developer calls, they're giving us one message, but publicly they're giving us something else. I'm really at a loss, man. Like I said, today was just kind of a kick in the nuts where I'm like, I'm telling people, I'm like, hey, let's start like voicing our opinions proactively about the bugs and start getting things headed in the right direction. And it just seems like the vision is completely wrong. And I mean, put our big boy pants on. At this point, I don't know if anything's going to change unless someone gets fired. And I know that may not be the most positive thing in the world to say, but like, let's be honest, if we were in Activision shoes or IW shoes and the game is literally a burning pile of like,
oh man,
what are we talking about here? Someone has to be held accountable for their actions, and a title launch of Warzone 2 going catastrophically wrong. I just think philosophically someone's on a totally different planet, and I'm not calling for that. I wish they would just return to the roots. It's not that cosmic what we're asking for, but like if someone's pride or whatever it is too strong at that level and they refuse to make that change, Q1 earnings are about to drop here in a couple weeks, right? We're at the end of the month of March. Those numbers are about to drop, and those are objective numbers.
Are those public?
Yes.
Yeah, the calls will be public.
Publicly traded company.
Yeah, Charlie Intel and Modern Warzone will probably be tweeting about it nonstop when the call is going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait to see that.
And I don't want that, but that's legitimately, in my opinion, unless season 3 just fucking blows my mind, not in terms of like what they do, but the direction they're headed.
Yeah.
I think someone's gone.
No, I mean, I've been playing in the last 2 days, 3 days, something like that. I've basically only been playing Warzone 1. And like people have been enjoying watching it, but like it feels so crazy to play that game and then people come in the chat and be like, you know, I joined Warzone at the start of Warzone 2. I've never seen this before, and being like, this looks like Warzone 3. This doesn't look like Warzone 1. You know what I mean? Like, you know, some of the things that can be added, these aren't new concepts. You know, this is just like some. I really don't know what direction they're headed for. If season three can be crazy, you know, it could upset everyone. But I mean, the things that need to be changed are right there. I mean, all these ideas are out there. It's not like new thing. Like, we don't need some crazy ideas to be made. Like some of the movement things that can be changed. Buy stations being on the map it's like huge. A crazy concept. Huge, massive. You could just land somewhere and res your teammate. I mean, it's like, it blows my mind how accessible some of those options are, and contracts, stuff like that. Like, I don't even think, you know, contracts are so, you know, it's only in Warzone that you have contracts. I've never seen another battle royale or game with, you know, a way to make money like that in the game. Contracts are a massive part of Warzone 1 where you're doing those, you know, you got to get an economy made. In Warzone 2, I can end the game with 100K without even trying. Like, it's like, there's just things like that could be fixed so easily and fix the gameplay, and we'll see if that happens in season 3.
And it's not even about like there being crazy amounts of money, because like we wanted crazy amounts of money, so like to be able to do things, but it's still the fact that there's nothing to spend it on. Like there's nothing to buy in this, right? So listen, speaking on that, right? A big part of what I wanted to have also on this podcast, another topic, is a lot of people are switching to Warzone 1, man, going back. And I'm be honest, I don't like looking at numbers, but numbers are a good indicator of what the community likes. And you look at people, I've had so many people, content creators, tell me, I hop on Caldera and my numbers shoot up on stream. My numbers shoot up like in YouTube videos. Like, I've had so many people tell me that like as soon as I get in Warzone 2, my numbers just drop, right? That just goes to show like how much people are actually liking it. Like the map, Caldera, might be the worst map ever created, right? But the movement and, you know, the fluidity, the quality of life on that game is just, people like it, you know? I mean, Isaac, what you've been in, I've seen you been playing it. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, when I get slammed in Warzone 1, and it's happening, you know, a lot right now because all the, you know, passion players are back, you know, my hands aren't as fresh as they were. Like, when I get slammed in that game, I'm like, GG's.
Yeah.
That guy was shooting straight. That guy was moving. Like, you take one shot at somebody in Warzone 1, and you can tell in a fraction of a second based off of, okay, he went auto tack sprint, slide cancel right behind the cover. right? And okay, I got to get ready for a demonic fight here. In Warzone 1, he ran it, or Warzone 2. I keep saying Warzone 1 whenever I mention Warzone 2 because it feels like a regression.
Yeah.
But when I play Warzone 2, it's like they run in a straight line and then they dolphin dive. And it's just, I don't feel bad when I get slammed in Warzone 1. I'm like, hey, GG's, bro. Like,
Yeah.
It feels good to die. I like to go to the gulag. Like, if I deserved it, I'd like to die. Like, it's not a bad feeling, you know?
Red, you've been on it too, right?
You lost a fight. Yeah, I mean, like, almost primarily, I did a poll in my chat, like, what people like to watch more, whether it be Warzone 1 or Warzone 2. And this could be biased because I was on Warzone 1 at the time when I took the poll, and it was 90-10 to Warzone 1's favor. And, like, the thing, it was significant. Bro, and the thing that, like, I realized is, in terms of, like, as a viewer, it's so much more flashy. Like, there's actual cool clips. I genuinely... I thought this the other day. I can't think of a clip from Warzone 2 that I saw from someone I was like, wow. Like, I can't think of like a cool clip, like a headshot, a collateral, or like snipe out the sky, or shot like 1v4. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't look cool.
Yeah, the only clips that I see on Twitter are challenge nukes. So solo only nuke, no bullet challenge. Or
it is
nuke.
A clip and it's super mid.
Yeah. It's like, okay, cool, bro.
But it's impressive for Warzone 2, but it's super mid.
Yeah.
I did have a clip blow up from Warzone 2, but it was like the flying boats, like the hackers with the flying boats. That's the only clip I've ever. Like, it was a cheater. Like, it wasn't even like gameplay wise. Like, it's just so much more flashy in Warzone 1 with the movement and like sniping or whatever it is, like shots out the sky. It's just so much more clean to watch as a viewer, I feel.
I agree, man. And speaking on the cheater situation, right? Obviously, we saw that cheater thing going around. For those of y'all who don't know, there's been cheaters have came out and talked and said that there's a group of cheaters out there that pretty much put bounties on streamers' heads who are playing Warzone 1. They pretty much get paid. These cheaters get paid by somebody. We don't know who, mysterious people or person or company that like pays them to get them to literally make streamers get off Warzone 1 and rage quit off and stop playing that game. So Iron was one of them. JGOD, obviously you heard about that, right, JGOD?
Yeah. But that's been going on for a while.
Yeah, and like
I think FIFA had that like a year ago or something, right?
Yeah. Musex had it too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a conspiracy theory that it's Activision's hiring these hackers to get streamers off and play Warzone 2. But I mean, is it that bad? Are hackers that bad right now in Warzone 1?
I'll take this on. So, like, I think that's the biggest load of crap ever, okay? We saw this all the way back in the Verdansk days, okay? Like, I get it. Ricochet is sucking right now. Ricochet is doing really bad. In ranked, especially multiplayer, like, it's getting slammed. Warzone, I maybe run into, like, one cheater a day, couple cheaters a day. Like, it's really not that bad. And that's better. It's worse than what it was. Because when Warzone 2 first launched, I was running into one cheater a week, maybe. So it's down bad right now, and I get the frustrations about that, and I really hope they, get their stuff together. But this whole idea that there's a bounty system from Activision, like, people in that position, okay, the absolute deadbeat, degenerate cheaters, the guys that are just crying for attention because they couldn't get it on Twitch because they were getting slammed because they didn't have the skill or the gunny, so they went to cheat. We've seen this with multiple other creators, right? Our big name, creators that, the hacker hunters, most of the time are failed creators, right?
Yeah.
And so the guys that are cheating right now and that are saying like, oh, I'm getting hired to do this, bullshit. Like, they're just sitting in their bedroom cheating, and they're just getting their rocks off that a streamer is talking to them about a conspiracy theory. I made the analogy last night. Why are we trusting someone who already shows a lack of integrity? Why are we believing this guy that's cheating in game that he was hired by a secret company and he has an NDA, but he can tell us about the secret company even though he signed an NDA? They're full of shit. Why would you trust a murderer and be like, well, I mean, I know I killed him, but it's because the president of the United States told me to do it. And the CIA told me to do it. Like, I didn't do it. Like, dude, I get the rage at Activision, but this is the most brain dead tinfoil hat theory I've ever heard in my life.
I'm glad you said that, because I heard that. I was like, nah, bro. I was like, this is hilarious. Like, the fact that people go to this length to kind of make stuff up. I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's besides the point. But
there were cheaters that would say, hey, I'll stop cheating if you give me a certain amount of Bitcoin. right? Like, why do we trust any of these guys?
Yeah. I don't know, boys, but I mean, hey, look, I from what we're hearing, I'm just, I guess, going back to what originally we were talking about is like, I just don't know if we're at the position right now to where like things are gonna actually change. And I was gonna say like a week ago, you asked me, and I'd be like, yo, guys, trust me, like things are gonna change. Now, I can't tell you. I don't know. Brad, do you think things are changing? Are we screwed?
It's 50-50. I mean, there's already been people that are leaving. Like JGOD was saying, some people are on their last stand, and it's like, I mean, they could change things for the better now, and they couldn't. And regardless, like kind of the same thing is going to happen. Either everyone comes back or everyone leaves. Like it's just. I don't feel like there's an in between, because if you don't satisfy like the extreme right now, then you're gonna have people just go and play something else, or just find something else to do, or just go back to Warzone 1. I've heard a lot of people talking about how like it could be harming the game, like playing Warzone 1 right now instead of Warzone 2, but I didn't understand that.
So?
Like, yeah, I don't understand how that it could be harming to be playing. Like, I mean, Warzone is the only game ever that I've been able to play. Like, I could play for 24 hours straight. I won't get bored. If I get off of the game, it's because I got something to do. Like it's the only game that's like held my attention like that. And so like regardless, I enjoy Warzone as a whole. I want it to do good. I want to have people to play against. I mean, the real reason that I started playing the game, I know a lot of people did when it came out in 2020, was because everyone else was playing it. It's nice to be playing against, a game that a lot of other people, you could go to like a random store or something, ask some dude like, hey, you play Warzone? He probably does. It's like, it's nice to have people that have the same interests as you. And, the more people that like the game, it's going to be like that. The update, I hope it's good, but I don't know. I really don't.
Is there a time where, not to steal your role, Hector?
Oh, I don't know.
Where you would leave Warzone?
Me?
Do you have a red line? Like we talked to Aiden about his red line, and his red line was competitive / so competitive ranked Warzone / an alternative, and he was theorizing, Fortnite FPS.
Yeah. Are you talking to Brad? Or are you talking to me?
Brad, all of us again.
Okay.
Because we all probably.
It's a good question.
That's a good
question.
Yeah. I mean, I think the real line for me is because I enjoy playing Warzone regardless. I mean, they could make the worst changes possible and still, like, core gameplay wise, I would enjoy it. I would obviously be frustrated at some of the things happening, like the ladder thing that we were talking about earlier. There's things like that are just so clear. They could be fixed so easily, and they're just not. But like, I think it'd come down to what the viewer wants to see. If the viewer stops liking Warzone, then I'll go play what other people like to watch, because I like to play it regardless. There's so many good games out right now. I've been playing some Apex. There's so many good games out that, like, you don't need to just sit and wait and just, nothing's going to happen. Either they change it and it's good, or they don't and we go. But I guess it depends on season 3, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, like, going to your question, like, I literally told them, I was like, listen, like, if things don't improve I already knew season 3 is too soon to have like that big of a drastic change. Even I think 3.5 is too big of a drastic change, in my opinion. If season 4, because so many people say, oh, I'll quit. Like, I don't think people realize how big of a deal it is to quit or to change a game. Like, that's a big leap, right? Like, I'll be honest, season 4 is probably, like, even now I'm playing Fortnite from time to time because I think it's really fun. Like, I'm playing random games. I'm doing just chatting, right? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I give it until season 4, and if things aren't drastically different, like where it's like literally night and day, I think it's time for me to just not necessarily, I don't want to say I'm quitting completely, but to just start thinking about new things,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my.
What if, like, directionally, let's say they do hit season 3 and then they quadruple down on the anti-movement. Let's say season 3 drops and it's like, we've increased sprint to fire on all SMGs, we've increased ADS on all ARs. Would you still wait till season 4? Or is it just like, hey, the writing's on the wall?
No, I'm even now, like, I'm still, I was having this conversation with chat earlier, and it's like, listen, everybody in the chat and in Twitter saying, oh, if you really want to make change, like, just quit playing completely. And it's like, okay, like this is what I told them. I said that's kind of like a very skewed mentality, because even if content creators have a 5% 6%, even 1%, like of changing the game with their feedback, like, don't you think we should continue to play the game, find these bugs, and give it to them right away, send it to them, even if it changes 1%, 2%, 3%? I was like, it doesn't make sense to me, that mentality. Like, in my opinion, I'm gonna keep fighting until I literally can't no more. All right, if you guys want to leave, that's fine, but I will continue to fucking give my feedback every time there's a bug. Give my feedback if I'm not having fun. Say what needs to be done, even if I feel like they're not listening to me. There will come a point where I no longer, I'm just gonna be like, you know what, like, they're not listening. There will come that point, right? But I haven't hit that point, and I'm going to continue fighting for our community until like until I quite literally can't. So when people are saying just stop playing the game, one, it's not gonna make a difference. It's not gonna make a difference whether we like stop playing or not. Like, that's not gonna, everybody's gonna stop playing the game just because streamers stop playing. That's not the way things work. You should know how much numbers. But what will work and what will do the most is us providing 10-page essays like I do and sending it to the devs on what needs to be addressed. And even if they might not like listen to what I have to say, at least I know it's on their desk. At least I know it's getting to them. It's not up to us whether they choose to listen to us, but it is up to us to send the feedback and at least try to make the changes. So that's my opinion on that. You know?
But to even add on to that is like, there's a sense that when you're a content creator, there's a part of it that is your job. It'd be like if you were working your regular job that's not content creation, and you just said, oh, you don't like your job, you should just quit. Like, that doesn't work in the real world. Like, what world do we live in where you could say that unless you live at home with your parents, you have zero bills or whatever the case is, and it could be like, oh, well, you should just upload whatever. Well, there's 100 other people that do that job really well, and switching over isn't as easy as this. I mean, you have to make a full transition, and it doesn't happen overnight. So there's obviously, depending on where you're at as a content creator, you have a little bit of leeway in that, depending on how much your income comes from videos, sponsorships, streams, shorts, whatever, and you get the versatility in that. But to just say, boom, just disappear, I think that's another part of it where people just can't do that because they have a certain, like, they have to pay their bills. Not saying everyone's in that situation where they're locked in, but there are definitely people in that case.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily sell out because of that, right? Like, you have to take care of yourself. But as long as you hold your integrity and say what you want changed, and I love how Hector, you mentioned, like, hey, I'm doing this on behalf of my community. Like, I can't tell you how many times someone has come into my chat and said, like, wow, I haven't played Warzone 2 in months, but it's good to see you. Like, dude, I don't blame you. Like, play what makes you happy. And I think the third part to that is, like, I truly love the game. And so to see it so far from, you know, what created these memories, what created these communities, what created this bond between players and friends and competitors, to feel it stray so far, like, that's actually frustrating. And it feels like, you know, something's kind of been taken away from us. That's why whenever everyone's playing Warzone 1 right now, it's like this plead of, dear God, how far did we fall? And so I think it's another reason why we're also vocal, is we want it back.
Brad, talk to me, man.
Dude, I'm just thinking of Warzone 1 now. I literally, just the thought that, like, Warzone 2 is what we did after Warzone 1 just blows my mind still. But, like, again, I think that both of you said it really well. Like, these are things, it's not like we're just going to leave and, you know, go play whatever else. I've never played another game that I've had as much fun in as Warzone. And, like, Isaac saying that there's people coming in and being like, yo, I haven't really been playing this, but it's nice to see you type thing. Like, that happens a lot. And it's nice to where, you know, we're still there if they do want to watch this content, or they want to see us or whatever. Like, you know, all four of us, most everyone is working towards, they want Warzone to do good. It's not like we're sitting here and shitting on Warzone like, I hate this game, it's ass, I hope season 3 is terrible and I'm just gonna leave. Like, I've never heard anyone say that. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense. However, it's nice, again, like I said earlier, like Warzone 1, there's some things like movement-wise for Warzone 2, we don't need side canceling or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are, how bad you are, how much you play or anything like that. Everyone, there's a certain amount of fluidity that the game needs for people just to feel good, regardless of, it doesn't matter how much you play. You know, we don't need side canceling, demons, stims. That stuff doesn't matter. You know, it's just, you know, being able to play the game at all or for long periods of time or whatever. It just doesn't feel nice. with just the clunky auto mantle, whatever's wrong with it. I mean, they know what needs to be changed. So
yeah, I mean, I want to just real quick touch on a quick thing. I know a lot of people in the chat, probably in your guys' chats, who are saying like, oh, like you guys saying things is not gonna matter, they're not gonna listen. Just to give you guys a little bit of insight, last year when the redeploy balloons came out, I remember I had a meeting, we all had a meeting, right? And I suggested this. This was before this even happened. I said, hey, these redeploy balloons, it'd be cool if they had portable ones where you could put them as equipment. And they were like, oh, that's a cool idea. I'll write it down. I'm not going to say that was my idea. I'm saying like, even the fact that they thought about it and that eventually that was put into the game, like us talking does help. Even if we give them 100 ideas and they only put one in, like I said, I just thought I would throw it out there. I'm not going to stop like giving feedback. It just doesn't make sense.
But I'll add on to what kind of Bread was saying in that it'd be different if Warzone 1 didn't exist, but it did. So we can like relate and know, hey, this is how the game was. And it was intentionally changed in a way that didn't make sense. Even when we had games that both had their huge updates or news, which was CS and Fortnite, CS has essentially been the same game for like 20 years almost.
Yeah.
and Fortnite, even though it's evolved, it's essentially kept the same core mechanics. And if anything, they've added to their existing base. Even when they re-overhauled the engine, their servers went down for like 2 days or whatever with the black hole event. Then they came back and it was like, damn, it got a huge facelift.
Yeah.
That's literally all COD needed to do, is just give it a facelift, some cosmetic changes. And I'll see it online and people are like, oh, you guys were saying you were bored of the game. We weren't bored of the movement. We weren't bored. Like, no one was complaining about those things that changed.
Yeah.
We said we wanted a new map. We said Caldera was buns from the beginning, even though they improved it dramatically. We wanted a new map. We get a great map, but then they said, nope, scrap everything else. Like, what? We already kind of agreed that all these things are good. Why do we need to go back to the drawing board and change everything? And that's kind of where, I don't know. It just seems like, why create a new game when we already have a good game?
Yeah,
the things we wanted were like new LTMs to constantly keep these things spiced up. We've been talking about ranked since Verdansk, like things that elevate the game. We're not trying to reinvent it.
And it's to admit where you're wrong. Like if you could admit that like you released something that people didn't like, and then you're like, oh shit, people didn't like this. We'll just do this instead. Like it's super nice to be able to admit when something goes wrong, or like something didn't turn out the way you wanted to, or just something isn't intended, came out as it was intended. I feel like there's not enough like admitting, you know what I mean? Like where they release something that people didn't like, maybe they double down on it or triple down on it, like the Resurgence timer. Like it's like at some point something needs to be admitted. Season 3, either we get something really good or at least some admission. Either would suffice, to be honest.
Bro, I saw a tweet on the timeline the other day, and it was a tweet from the official Call of Duty account, and it was back when they mentioned it last February. And it's like, hey, we've heard the complaints of the community, we've missed the mark on this, and I swear I thought it was this year. I thought it was a tweet that went live today.
Yeah,
I think Hope probably tweeted that, or Hunter. They go into the vault on tweets, bro. It's like, where'd you pull that out of? That was 3 years ago.
Hunter's crazy, bro.
It doesn't even have keywords, dog. Where's this from?
Look, man. I think everybody's fed up. Like even I lost my shit today when I saw that. I think we're all, but the big question still stands, and this is kind of what I wanted to shift the next perspective on, or the next segment of the podcast is if with, let's say, even if they do it, I think it's going to be mediocre changes coming season 3. But with that in mind, more than likely the rumor is season 3.5 will be ranked, right? Is ranked play enough to save this shit? Because only reason why I even think about this as a question is because you look at multiplayer and they're ranked, and that literally, their ranked saved. Like, I don't want to say saved, but if you guys don't look at analytics, you probably should, from when before ranked came out for multiplayer to now, their numbers shot through the roof. Things came back. Everybody, I don't know, I've seen so many times in my chat, hey, I'm playing ranked now. Like, I don't play Warzone. Like, everybody's playing that. So ranked literally changed that. Do you guys, JGOD, go first. Do you think that if done properly, right, will it?
I don't know if it will. I think like one of the main aspects that ranks play so well is because it keeps a lot of the core aspects of that people enjoy from COD and gets rid of a lot of cheese. Besides the minimap fire, besides that, it plays like more of a traditional COD. Even though you don't have a dead silence perk or whatever, but in general, you don't have a bunch of cheese, right? Like it's more everyone's standardized, so it kind of brings that together. When it comes to Warzone, even like I don't think there's almost any amount of changing that it could feel more like COD, I guess.
Yeah.
Or a battle royale of like Warzone COD.
Yeah.
I don't think it could feel. I don't know, because that's the problem. It doesn't feel like COD. It just feels like a generic battle royale.
Yeah, I just want to throw this out there, just before Isaac said, you're going to talk. Rumor is, right, this is not confirmed. I don't have any intel. This is just what's circulating literally on Twitter, is that Treyarch is going to be involved in doing the same thing. They were in charge of, Treyarch was in charge of ranked for multiplayer, and that everybody's saying on Twitter that it's going to be the same team for, what's it called, for ranked for Warzone. I don't know if that's true. I have no, but I'm saying like with how reputable Treyarch is and with how good they've been with their community and everybody knows they're goated, is that gonna like, right? Is that gonna even make it 10 times better? Is that gonna, are they gonna be the saviors, right? Like, I don't know. Just thought I would throw it out there, JGOD, if you want to kind of change your answer or talk more on that.
No, I don't know. I don't think that really matters as much. I mean, because we can't change the core mechanics. I think if you make the progression system feel good, rewarding, however they figure out the kill point system with wins and whether it's going to be trios or quads or solos or whatever, once they get it, they're going to figure out the blueprint that's going to work, but it doesn't change the game.
Isaac, talk to me.
Yeah. I think it's 100% confirmed that Treyarch is involved, at the very least, making the ladder system, the point system, and getting all involved there. But it's how much are they going to let them change up the game, right? So it's whoever's in charge of it. Are they going to let them make changes to the metas? Are they going to let them make changes to the movement mechanics, to the, you know, banning weapons, banning utility? Because I think, you know, ranked will tide some people over. Just the objective point of grinding for a rank. I think a lot of people will go for iridescent just for, you know, shits and giggles, because it's fun to grind for a rank. But you know, something that's kept something like Counter-Strike or Apex or Valorant or even Call of Duty multiplayer going for such a long period of time is an objective skill gap.
Yeah.
Right. And it makes you realize of whether it's Call of Duty multiplayer, damn, that guy knew his hardpoint rotations, or wow, that guy had the gunny, right? That provides a different level of like, I am currently outclassed at the way that I am playing. Whether it's Apex or whatever it may be, like, you know, objectively, sometimes you get robbed and, you know, there's general, like, on the climb to the top. Yeah. But people will eventually plateau and get hard stuck. I don't know if you'll be able to get hard stuck in Warzone if you just rat up with an LMG, with stuns, possibly riot shields, and store a whole bunch of precision airstrikes. And that makes me skeptical about the future of Warzone Ranked.
Yeah. I mean, like that kind of things, like the thing that I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work, to be honest. But like, remember back in World Series of Warzone, I think it was that tourney, or like Twitch Rivals or whatever, there was no bans for any of those tourneys. And this was
that's all the World Series of Warzone, no bans.
Yeah, and this wasn't like objective bad meta times. We're like, even from a viewer perspective, like they didn't want to see it, gallows, stuff like that, like just stuff that made the game not as fun to compete in or watch. I don't know for ranked whether or not they ban stuff like, you know, having, you know, multiple airstrikes or whatever. However, you know, there's definitely going to be metas that are going to be just so annoying to play against that may not be touched. Like, you know, holding 5 precision in your backpack, something like that, is not necessarily a skill, but it's definitely something that you could do every game, especially when you have something to play for. Because right now in a pub, like, what's the point of doing that if, you know, like the game's over and what, like you don't even have anything to remember the game by. There's nothing like really to grind for there, but like, yeah. I mean, there will be something tangible in ranked, and there will be people doing stuff like that, and whether or not they can counter that in any way, whereas like in multiplayer, there's some guns you can't run or you can't tune your guns or whatever. Those are things that I think would make ranked play really nice, but I don't know if that's something that they're going for, to be honest.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw this out, man, and I hope, you know, somebody's listening, but we've had this conversation before, and we're gonna kind of niche down and talk about ranked, right? But in the same way that I feel like multiplayer should have its own feel, its own rule set, its own everything. Warzone should have its own feel, its own team dedicated to just that, and DMZ should have its own. Like right now, everything's intertwined. You change one thing from multiplayer, it goes across all the way to DMZ. You change something with DMZ, it changes. So in the same token, I hope that with ranked that they decide, hey, don't just add a rank system to add a rank system. Right? Don't just add a rank system to just say, hey, this is a rank. No, make ranked the most competitive system that you possibly can. Ban and protect system, changing things. I truly don't know how, right? I mean, I can definitely come up with a list of things. We can all get together and, give our feedback, but they need to make this as competitive as possible. That's up to them whether they're going to do it. Ranked could be taken two ways. Hey, give them a rank system just to kind of throw it over, just like, or make it to where, we want to make an actual competitive playlist. We're banning all LMGs, banning riot shields, banning, Cali sticks, banning, whatever it feels needs to be banned, whatever it may be.
Strongholds and black sites gone.
Stronghold, black sites gone. If that's, to be fair, strongholds or black sites, they need to have specialist bonus. Just throwing that out there randomly. Right now, there's no reason to get black sites. Black sites are boring. They literally are not worth it. They need something better. AI's gone. Like, are they going to do that? I don't know. Are they just going to put together something and kind of like throw out there? Or is it going to be like, like, hey, let's do this right. Let's do this and make this actually competitive. Same thing for Warzone. There's a big reason why, I feel like slide canceling, in my opinion, should be it was acceptable in Warzone, but not in multiplayer. Time to kill difference changes a lot of things. Like, definitely, it's two separate things, right? So that's kind of my take on that, boys. I don't know. That's what I think we need, quote unquote. But yeah, thoughts, boys. I don't know. I'm over here down bad, crying over here.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree with you with the patch notes and just. Even the patch notes that came out today, there were some bugs in there that was talking, in the bug fixes section, they were talking about stuff that they fixed in multiplayer. And I've never been, I never played any COD multiplayer growing up. And that wasn't part of my childhood. And so none of this matters to me, to be honest. When I read that, Raven posting about a minor Warzone 2 update has gone live, and then I read the update and it's bug fixes in multiplayer, surely that could be separated, where they have their own team for multiplayer, they have their own team for Warzone, and make it way better for if all I'm doing is playing Warzone, why do I have to look at this multiplayer stuff when it doesn't even, it should be their separate entity like you're talking about.
Well, I think in some instances there is overlap because it's the same engine until they decide to split off or whatever the heck they need to do. But it ends up being one of those things where literally it applies. I didn't see the specific bug you're talking about, the list, but a lot of times it will apply and carry over.
Lobbies. Yeah.
It's probably the same thing then for Warzone lobbies then, no?
Probably, yeah. It doesn't really say specifically, but yeah, just in general, it's talking about things that they fixed on Himmelmat Expo. I think the new multiplayer map that came out. Yeah, just stuff like that, in the bug fixes for Warzone.
I think part of that might come from the restructuring that we hit when it came to Warzone 2, that Raven Software has now became the messenger in a lot of ways, right? Their primary duty, at least in the way that was explained to us early on, was that they're more going to be focused on managing the Trello board, the patch notes, etc. And so they've become the messenger for everyone under the Call of Duty umbrella, rather than in the Caldera, Redemption glory days, they were the guys making the changes.
Yeah.
Now, Hector mentioned in the last podcast that they are now in more of a power position, and that's why we're seeing more quality of life changes come through on Warzone.
Yeah.
But I still think IW is still top dog, even with Warzone.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Raven Software wants at this point, right? For this game, they are there to help, give a hand, right? And at the end of the day, I'll be honest, if the suits, I don't know how many there are, right? But at the end of the day, let's say we tell our people, yo, this is what we think needs to be changed. At the end of the day, if Infinity Ward decides, no, we're not doing that, this is our game, That's not happening. If let's say we can shout from mountains that we want movement change, that we want side canceling back. At the end of the day, it's not up to Raven. It's up to Infinite Ward because this is their game, right? And I did this list and I said this. I've said this before, and is right now. Okay, I want everybody to really think about this, and no biases aside. Right now, we put together a meter, right, from most skill gap / cracked to the bodiest to body movement, right? I would put on this side, right, the most cracked is jetpacks. That has the biggest skill gap out of anything. Jetpacks, slide canceling, all that stuff. On this side, I'm not even kidding. How does a game like Black Ops 2, even World War II, have faster ADS, faster strafing, feel more cracked? Let's say we're putting it on this bar. I would literally put Warzone 2 on this end, on the far left end. How does this, it's work? If you were saying, oh, adapt, go back, you're not an OG member. Brother, I don't want to hear that because OG COD feels 10 times faster than this. You put over here Modern Warfare 2, then after that, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, all that stuff.
They never use Stalker Pro.
Yeah. hey. Then you put, exactly, Stalker Pro. Then you can put Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops 4, then all the Black Ops 3s, all the jetpacks. If I was to rank them in most cracked to least cracked, right now, literally Warzone 2, what we have right now is significantly less than even what we grew up on, what we were playing since the beginning.
Which is crazy because the entire gaming community has all progressively gotten better. So much better over the last few years, especially now that there's a potential for a career in content creation and Booga wins $1 million and now parents aren't spending money on piano lessons or spending money on Fortnite lessons. The passion for people to get better and put more time in the video games as it's becoming more and more globally accepted. There's so much passion to put in the game, and where Fortnite is adding perks and sliding and no builds and the wave dashing and the crazy things you can do on Fortnite, we are bringing it back and holding hands for what used to be the flashy FPS is now the
PUBG.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
We've turned into PUBG.
I love I played so much PUBG. In PUBG, I was playing PUBG and I enjoyed it because that was PUBG. But the movement that we have right now is not characteristic of COD. It's just I played a game and it's what am I playing? When I loaded up PUBG, I knew what I was getting myself into. Now when I load up COD, I'm yo, surely something could change. It's objective. And again, there's gonna be people being skill gap or us people that can't play 40 hours a day. It doesn't matter how much you could play. I can't stress that enough. It doesn't matter. It is objectively slow. Slower than ever, like you said. It's not even, you can't even argue that, it doesn't feel smooth. It just
what's weird is I brought this up to Repullze a couple months or maybe a month ago or something like that. And I was when you build a meta SMG, the Lockman sub, it has a 280 millisecond aim down sight or something. Or 300, that's the meta build. Wow. And then when you go to Modern Warfare, even Modern Warfare 2019 is 200 milliseconds. Bro. That's the standard for all the SMGs when you put a meta build on them. And it's dude, it's a whole 100 milliseconds. A lot of times the 300 milliseconds is where a lot of the rifles, 3 to 350. Now it's 400. And it's just, I don't know. It's just so slow. Everything's so slow. And the delays between animations adds to those effects.
Yes.
And it's holy it's that's slow, but then the other thing is slow. And then when you're weapon swapping, guess what? You caught it at the second half of the animation. So you kind of just got to commit to it now.
Yep.
Well, I blink it. Yeah.
Sorry, I totally had a mind.
Go. I like this.
I'm
we're cooking, boys. We're cooking.
Well, and it's not even the whole just adapt conversation, right? The same players that were talented in Warzone 1 are just as talented in Warzone 2, right? The same players that were breaking world records, that were winning tournaments, that were successful in custom game tournaments against the best in the world, even if the VPN tinfoil hats, these players will adapt, and we have adapted. Bread, your KD is something ridiculous, 10 on a daily basis or something, and people are still out there dropping 40s and doing crazy stuff with what they can. So it's not a matter of I'm not successful anymore on this game because they changed it. It's we're gonna make success. We're still gonna win. We're still gonna get high kills. We're still gonna do our thing.
Yep.
It's boring.
Yeah.
Objectively boring for the viewer, for the player. Like, that's the issue. Like, I can be good at a game, but it's still going to be boring.
Yeah.
It's not even an adapt thing. It's just it's hard to put passion into a game that has no soul.
Numbers, listen. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, bro. And I'll be honest, like I hope they're looking at the numbers. They're like, shit, let's Steam, right? Less than 60,000 or some shit like that, right? Like 60,000 players at one time. And then Fortnite
that's just Steam. You know what PlayStation's numbers are?
Yeah, bro. Because you know what? If they're less than, if they're less than 60K, 70K, and then Fortnite just released yesterday, they had a concurrent playing 1.5 milli. Like,
Apex is way up there too, like 500, 600K.
See, like, so it's like, that sucks, man. That sucks to hear. Like, it's. I hope it's time for them to wake up and truly realize that, hey, over the years, it's okay. You've lost sight of what COD was, but let's remember like what COD used to be in our glory days, a fast-paced first-person shooter.
Why are you holding the hand of the people that make the fucking game? You sound like you're taking a geriatric developer. Like, okay, Grandpa, okay, it's okay. We'll take some medicine. We'll remember what Call of Duty is. Like, if they're that far gone, get rid of them. Like, why are we having this conversation?
Damn. He cooked. Look, man, I'm just saying, like obviously it's not a secret. It's not a secret, right? That as soon as Aiden tweeted out that he's done, like that he's done, like people hit him up and said, okay, what do we have to do to fix the game? And Aiden said that on the stream. The devs hit him up and said, all right, what do we have to change for you to like stay? And it's like, bro, like it sucks that we're at that point. Right, like it sucks, man, and
that swag tweet.
Oh yeah, let me bring that up, bro. Hold on, bro.
That shit was like a quadruple, pentuple ratio, bro.
Let me go look at that.
I've never seen a ratio that bad between like accounts. Like it was bad.
Wait, let me wait.
Was that the Beyond Caldera, though, bro?
Yeah. Yeah,
look, Annie, right. The tweet that I put out, he said, because I tweeted out that they nerfed Sprint to Fire and made Resurgence slower. He said, "Wait, what the fuck? Nah, they dead ass right now." Like, so let me go find this thing. Wait, I don't know what he be tweeting. Hold on, let me cover screen real quick. Oh, let me cover screen real quick because hey, he be, where is that at? Let me see. Look, this one. I found it. So Call of Duty tweeted out, run it back this week in Call of Duty Warzone 2, where the squad dropping, right? And then Swag tweeted, we on Warzone 1, lil bro. Call of Duty's tweet had 1,200 likes. Swag's tweet had 4,774 likes. I mean,
bad.
That just goes to show you, man. I mean, everybody knows that Warzone 1 content in general is doing way better. And I'm literally, man, I hope they just say, you know what? Screw it. We made a mistake 6 months into this game. This is not where we should be. It's time to just pick it up and chalk it and just listen. Can you all agree, Breadman, you let me know when Cold War guns were glitched and every gun was incredibly fast, strafing speed. Was that not one of the most, for me personally, I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. When Cold War attachments were glitched, that was the most fun I've ever had on Warzone. That's just me.
Even on the keys, bro. Like, I'm getting juked out, put on TikTok every single game. I was still having a blast, bro. Like, it's just.
Well, they brought it back with Vanguard too.
Yeah,
remember
that one attachment, tape
the grip or whatever. Or tape. That's what it was.
Oh,
yeah.
tape.
That was cracked, bro.
Yeah.
People were just like,
and was that not so
with
fun?
The stem?
Yeah, with this, like, was that not fun as fuck? Like that that was the most fun. Brett, keep going. Sorry.
It made getting slammed fun, straight up. Like, dude, it made like if dying is fun, the game is amazing, bro. Like, because like I don't think I've ever died in Warzone 2 and not been like, well, like this probably should have happened, Where it's like, hey, dude, in Warzone 1 you can get on, get slammed. Just besides the point, in a game with fast movement, you could get slammed and be like, all right, I'm just gonna go do it again. I mean, it felt good in the moment, It doesn't matter what game it is.
Yeah.
That like those attachments being broken with the taped had like 50% more movement or whatever it had. Like that was amazing, genuinely amazing.
Yeah, I think my boy Modern Warzone brought up a good point. It's like obviously with stims they made that insane, right? But Now we don't have stims like that. Like, yo, I would not be opposed to them bringing back that, like, copy and pasting that strafe, ADS, movement speed, all that with those guns back in the day. Like I said, like 100 JGOD, 100 milliseconds, bro, difference in ADS. And we're just talking ADS. We're not even talking sprint to fire. We're not talking, swapping weapons. Like you said, like, it's just something everybody has already told them. I want everybody here to know almost every single creator has told them movement is bad. And that's not even just creators. I'm sure every casual person has said the same thing. So, I don't know. I think
Skill gap,
man. Boys, anything else, man? Because I'm over here crying.
What do you think about, now that we had the one-shot event in our last podcast? We were talking about one-shot snipers, and it dropped live during the podcast.
Yeah,
and they brought out the golden sniper. I think that was a meme. It was fun for the weekend, right? What do we think about, based on the overwhelming public sentiment, people were thrilled to have clips back.
Look,
I imagine we'll be having it coming back in season 3. But then again, as of right now, they're doing the exact opposite of public sentiment, so we'll probably never have them back. But if we do have one-shot snipers coming back in season 3, we excited for that, or is it just going to make things even more chaotic on Al Mazrah?
So go ahead, Brad.
Go.
No, you go.
Dude, with one-shot snipers, what they need to do is just bring back the damage range system. Like, where if it's a small sniper, like, obviously a really quick ADS sniper that's really accurate shouldn't one-shot from 400 meters away. But like your big Victus or MCPR or something like that, where you have to whip it out, take 4 to 5 business days to ADS, like, those guns should one-shot snipe, because you get clips back. It's fun to run those things. It's nice to have something fun and flashy to use, like that one-shot sniper was in the event. Obviously, we don't want one-shot body shot snipers, but like it showed that people enjoy that kind of things, even with the outrageous shooting someone in the toe or shooting their car and it explodes. It was still fun, and just having something like that would just be nice to have. Like, it'd just be flashy.
Bro, this is what I was thinking, man. Imagine if tomorrow, for April Fools, they release a game mode with slide canceling, crazy movement, like strafing speed, like just they're not gonna do it. Let me wish, bro. But like,
so bad,
dude. Like, what do you think would happen genuinely if they did that tomorrow at April Fools? I'm not even kidding. Today, when I read the patch notes, I thought, like, I was like, oh, this is April Fools.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, this is a joke.
I was about to reply that too.
Like,
tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, like, I thought it was a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that, I don't know. I think they would. I think the player numbers would shoot up for the day. It would be insane.
Easily. Yeah.
But getting back to the sniper thing, I think you either do it the way the Breadman said, where you'd have like one sniper. None of the marksman rifles should be able to really one shot at up to like 70 meters. That's it, and then it kind of drops off. Or you go the opposite, where you try to do a different route where most of them can one shot, but they're incredibly difficult to use. So you lean into all the aspects that they've been leaning into: super slow, insane flinch, zero strafe, huge bullet drop, low bullet velocity, so the travel time's low, so that you would get those elements of Warzone 1 where, like you're saying, if you do get slammed, then okay, that was a good player. If you get sniped and it is incredibly difficult, one, okay, I messed up and that guy got a lucky shot, or he hit a nasty shot. Yeah. And as a sniper, it's challenging going into it, so that when you get those, it feels that much more rewarding. Because the top end snipers, they will always manage to make it work. Even with this terrible sniper meta, they still do. Yeah. But they would be able to make it work, and they would be like the example that it is possible to snipe. He's got to be good. Yeah, quit being trash. If you want to snipe, be good. Sorry. And so that's the other route you could go, which I think it fixes the element of the biggest game. Since there's not movement, sniping's ridiculously easy in this game. Yeah. Everything's predictable. They can't really slide. If they dive, it's choreographed movement where you already know where they're landing. You just line up the shot. Like,
and they lay there still.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if they made it to where, whether you had to equip it a certain ammo type, right? Maybe it was an ammo type that allowed you to get one-shot headshots, but then that ruined your ability to put on a suppressor. Because I just think I just think it's done so well in Apex that when you hear a Kraber, everything stops. Everyone knows to lock it in. And I think that would be a really cool dynamic, even in COD, that if you're hearing multiple, you're like oh
you
my
know
God,
that
like,
that's a one-shot sniper type deal.
yeah. And that creates that exciting dynamic where it's not just like, I've been playing a little bit of Warzone 1, and that's one thing I do not miss about Warzone 1 is just
headshot.
Yep.
dead. Yeah.
You can get shot at, they'll miss, and you won't even know you got shot at, especially with the Garinko. I mean, that's obviously it's fun to use, but that's outrageous. It shouldn't be like that. Like, now that JGOD said that, I never thought about that before. The hard, like having a hard to use sniper rifle where it's like you've got crazy bullet velocity or something where, like, or the reverse of crazy, basically where you have to lead your shots a lot, or you can't kill someone from really long away unless you hit a good shot or you're lucky. Like, that would be a fun aspect, and they basically already got that. Like, all they need to do is add the, they've already got the slow ADS, like slow bullet velocity on these guns. I mean, they've essentially got that except for the one shot right now, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I hate sniping. I don't snipe, but I think there should be, everything in this game should have like high risk, high reward or whatever. Like, so with sniping, they know how much people love that, right? Love sniping. Let it bring back into the game. I have a feeling they're going to bring one shot sniping back into the game based off the game mode that we had. Everybody literally, while we were doing the thing in the chat, was saying, oh no, it's never going to happen. They're never going to bring one shot snipers back. When we're, the rainbow and them saying one shot. And then literally while we were doing that happened, bro. So I don't know. We'll see.
And I think we could balance it really well because right now they have no intent to make Ashika Islands ranked, right? They've said that in the meetings. There's not going to be any Ashika Island ranked. The ranked is going to be on Warzone, at least to start with, right? Which, I mean, makes sense. Like Ashika, like Breadman said earlier, is like glorified multiplayer. So like in those small maps, if we want to give those, Car 98s, the SPX, the really fast marksman rifle level of headshots, like let people style and go crazy on that map. In Al Mazrah pubs, maybe we just make every sniper one-shot headshot, right? And just make that a clip reel. Giving us all back our movement and all that good stuff, right? And have stupid corny stuff like fire shotguns and whatever. Just let Wild West just let people make clips with whatever the heck they want to make clips with, whether it's riot shields and Cali sticks or fire shotties or headshot snipers. Let them go crazy. And then the third compartment is ranked. And for that, we are strictly locking it in for the most pure competitive environment we can create. So whatever you want to play, if you don't want to be sweaty and you want to have some fun going on Mazrah, if you're literally looking for mind numbing, you want to full send everything and just redeploy, go play Ashika Island. But if you want to lock it in, play the best, and know that your skill is what's going to determine your outcome, make it a pure ranked system. No cheese.
Agreed, boys. Agreed. I mean, listen, man, we have a week and a half, pretty much, week and some change to the next big update. I mean, let's hope that they change some shit, man. Let's hope that things get better, because right now I'm gonna be honest and say this is probably the worst that we've ever been, and I don't think that's a secret. I think everybody knows this is the worst that we've all been. I think we can all agree. And I never thought it'd get worse than Caldera, which is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. That first month of Caldera was bad.
We were all
so bad.
Dude, Chris and I literally tried to do a 24-hour stream. We ended stream at 11 hours. We're like, nah, this, like, and that's the day the game came out. That's the day the game came out. That's crazy. I could have,
Yeah, and this is worse. This is worse than that.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Boys,
you could probably go back and do a 48-hour stream that day, no lie, if you knew what this was going to
be. No, man. Bro. Boys, anything before we sign off, man? I know, we talked about everything we need to talk about. If I missed anything, let me know. If not, we'll close it out, but you guys let me know.
I'm good. Honestly, like, no one wants to see the game do bad. Everyone wants to see it do good. So hopefully, season 3 is nice.
Yeah, the prospect of going back to Warzone 1 is really nice. It's a nice little, flash from the past, but like the new engine is on Warzone 2, quote unquote new engine. That's where the future of the game is. And so I don't want to just give up and say, hey, we're just going to play Warzone 1, because we know that game's not going to get updates. There's nothing to purchase in the store. The meta is never going to change. It is fun to play for a couple weeks, and we'll all relive some nostalgia here. But like Brett said, the future is with Warzone 2. We have to accept that. But so do the developers, because either the future is with Warzone 2 or it's with another game.
Yep. And tacking on to what Breadman was saying, like I think the reality is everyone wants the game to be good. Like right now, like in the 3 weeks I've been playing Destiny 2, and I have like 160 hours in Destiny 2 right now from 0.
Yeah.
I hadn't played it in 6 years, but Steam I started with 0. So like I'm grinding the game, and I could literally play nonstop because there's so much to do, so much content, 5 years of content you could catch up on. But it's like I'd want to be able to do that with COD, but like I play for 45 minutes and I'm like, cool. Even the spectating randoms is boring because you die. Like it's just people camping the entire match, AFK the entire match. I like, what are we doing? Like I don't even hardly watch any streams that much. Even the tournaments are very lackluster.
Yeah.
Where it's like
There's been so many DMZ tournaments though, you know.
Hey, back to back.
I'm over here hating on him, Breadman. Like, let's go,
don't
let's get some
badmouth
more.
DMZ.
Love
It's probably
DMZ.
the only thing that's good in the game.
Oh man, I hate DMZ on God, bro. Hey, that DMZ killed Warzone. I don't care. Write it down, scripted. That's what I think. I swear, man. Anyways, but boys, I appreciate y'all coming out, man. Thank you guys so much as always. Let's hope in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, things get better. I mean, I'm praying and hoping that this next week, I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't expect it, but that there's some type of update. If we can just, if anybody's listening out there, listen, even just change metas, you know, every 2 weeks. I'll have fun. Like, give us something new to grind. Give us, like, in Modern Warfare 2019, we halfway through the cycle, they gave us Obsidian Camo to grind. Like, we don't have anything anymore. There's no real grinding aspect. There's no reason. You're not giving us a reason to get on the game. So give us a reason. Let's hope.
Hopefully we'll get a roadmap next week.
Yeah, something like that, and then we'll talk about it obviously in the next podcast. But boys, Brad, Isaac, JGOD, love you guys. Thank you guys as always for coming out to the podcast. I appreciate you guys. Any closing thoughts? I think we're good, right?
I'm
Good to go.
chilling.
All right, boys. Thank you guys so much. Everybody here, thank you all for tuning in to the Pullze Check podcast. We'll see y'all next week, baby. Peace.